YTBC. This is your boy Coach Shelton Harrison. And guys, you know what? If the topic of race makes you uncomfortable, you need to cut the video off right now. Cut the video off because I don't have time for your buffoonery. But I want to talk about the four extremes in the sport of boxing. I want to talk about the four racial extremes in the YTBC. And this might be a two video sequence because I don't like to keep my videos long, so I'm going to make them two parts, okay? I want to talk about the blacks. I want to talk about the black extremists. I want to talk about the Fight the Power brothers, okay? I've had multiple Fight the Power brothers come on my channel and say that I'm an Uncle Tom. Okay? And and that would be a telling sign. It would be a great thing if it were true. I have a lot of Fight the Power brothers. Whenever I criticize a black fighter, I'm being an Uncle Tom. If I have something critical to say about them, stuff I don't like, I'm an Uncle Tom. Okay? And I gotta address this. I gotta address this hands down. So I made a video. Well, no, let me start with this. 78 Sports TV. He said that if you are a black channel and if you say something good about whites, he said white people will say you racist. I never thought that would be me because my channel was small and it's still small. So I was like, nah, that ain't gonna be me. Boy, 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 I shake my head now because 78 Sports TV, you was right. And 78 Sports TV long ago said, if you are a black channel and if you call a black fighter out on BS, he said that the black people will say that you a self-hating Negro. That's what he said. He said they will call you a self-hating Negro and that you're a sellout. Okay. I start shaking my head because I'm like, nah, that my channel ain't big enough. But now I shake my head because 78 Sports TV, you was right again. People, I made a video about protesting and Black Lives Matter. And I told y'all, and I tried to educate some of you brothers. I tried to educate a lot of you guys because it's a big business and they don't give two pieces of a crap about you. All they don't care about black. They care about green. And I tried to educate a lot of you brothers on how that stuff works. But what did I get in return for that? I got, a lot of people just saying, you're Uncle Tom. Coach, man, you for these white people. Coach, you trying to, be cool with the crackers. I heard that. I heard that and I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy. See, let me tell some of you guys. Let me tell some of you Fight the Power brothers something. Let me tell some of you guys something. Okay? See, what protester do you know? I'm talking about, do you really, really know that go into the heart of the black community and fight the battles? Now, I'm not talking about talk about the situation. I'm not talking about raise consciousness on what the problem is. I'm talking about go in and day out and fight these battles. There are very few protesters on this planet that do that. There are some great protesters on the planet that do that. There are very few. You know what I'm doing? I am doing more than any protester will ever do in his lifetime. I'm doing more. I may not get the publicity on TV, brothers. I might not get the publicity on TV. I may never ever get that publicity. But I tell you what, I'm doing more in any community, in any black community than any protester is doing. You see, I'm going into gun-ridden neighborhoods every single day of the week. Every day. I'm dropping kids off and picking kids up in these gun neighborhoods. These protesters would dare not go into these neighborhoods at night trying to speak what they're speaking. They would never do it. I do. I do it day in and day out. I drop these kids off in neighborhoods where there are gunshots. Every time you turn around, there's a gunshot. I drop kids off daily and nightly in neighborhoods where I hear gunshots at. I drop them off. I pick them up. I drop them off. I pick them up. I've been doing this for 20 years. I've had over 150 gangbangers. I'm talking about gun-toting, drug-slanging gangbangers come through my program. And they all have 4-year college degrees. See, they all got this. See, you guys try to criticize me because I make my videos. I make a video and I criticize a black fighter, and you already have a profile of who I am and what I am. But no protester will go into these neighborhoods. No protesters will keep darkness off of a lot of these kids. And no protesters, they're not keeping these kids out of caskets. I'm keeping them out of the casket. Believe you me, I'm keeping these young black men out of caskets. I'm doing more so than any darn protester can do on this planet. And that's just the way that is. See, truth recognizes truth. I see the truth for what it is. I see the truth for what it is. And a lot of you Fight the Power brothers, all you guys are doing, you're just protesting. Y'all ain't making no moves. Some of you probably are. Some of you probably are. You know what? There's a Coach Shelton Harrison in every city. There's a Coach Shelton Harrison in every city that's doing exactly what I do. There's a Coach Shelton. There's a Everett Palmer. That's my partner. He's doing the same thing I'm doing. We're dropping these kids off. We're picking them up. We're dropping them off. We're picking them up. We're picking them up in these rough neighborhoods where we hear gunshots. We're picking these kids up every single day of the week. And we're putting these kids in college. These are kids that done right by any. I've had 5 murderers come through my program. I'm talking about these are teenage boys they have killed. They've killed before when they were young, 13 and 14 years old. They murdered somebody, and they got out and joined our program and got dogged. They got a 4-year scholarship. Any protesters, they're not doing that. See, you fight the power brothers that come on here and criticize me because you think you know me. You don't know a damn thing about me. Okay? Day in and day out. I have saved more kids and kept more kids out of the casket than a lot of you will ever care to know. I prevented more deaths than a lot of you would care to know. Because what I do, this is my life. Working with young kids is my life. I do it all day long when I'm not making videos. That's what I'm doing. When I finish dropping this video, I'm going to go deal with some kids. I'm going to pick up a boatload of kids, and we're going out to go train. I'm keeping these kids out of the casket. I'm giving these kids something that they can grab onto besides the damn neighborhood that they live in. But none of you fight the power brothers. All you guys are you're so critical. You're trying to criticize what I'm doing. You're trying to say that Coach, your Uncle Tom, hey, I ain't seen none of y'all, no protesters, none of these guys going into these neighborhoods at night and doing the things that I've done in these neighborhoods and pulling some of these young boys. These 150 gang banging leader over 20 years. These guys have careers. They've gone on and they're doing better things with their life. These are people that are citizens in the community. Okay, I've kept over 75 females from getting pregnant, keeping their legs closed. You know why? Because I'm feeding them with information. I'm feeding them with the truth. I'm giving these young females and these young men, I'm giving them truth. And not all of them are black. The majority of the kids that I've kept out of the casket, they were black. I done kept some of every race out of the casket. See, why is it with this fight the power brother? Do you think that I think that because I'm black, I have to think just like you? I have to stand up for everything that you stand up for. And that's not the case. Let me tell you, brother, something. I think the way I want to think. Okay? And I accept who I want to accept. Don't tell me because I have a friend that's white that I'm selling out. But it's ignorant because this white person saved my life. Why would I dislike a race? Why would I dislike everybody? Why would I dislike him because he's white, but he saved my life? Are you kidding me? See, that's ignorance. And this is what I get from a lot of you fight the power brothers. I get a lot of ignorance. It's not that I'm bashing the race. I'm race bashing. What I'm doing is I'm telling you truth, y'all. I'm telling you truth. It's not that I hate my own race when I criticize a black fighter. I'm just calling out BS when I see it. And the color doesn't matter. I'll call racism in a minute. I'll tell you if I think it's racist. I will tell you that. But, that because I criticize a black fighter, it don't make me racist. You see, you or any other protester, y'all not going to do what I do. See, you guys can talk about what you think I'm doing, or you protesters can talk about the issues. I'm confronting the issues head on every day of the week. I'm confronting them head on every day of the week. How many times have you guys, got a teenage boy off drugs? How many times have y'all done that? How many times have you went into the most infested neighborhood and pulled a kid out of there? I'm going to give you an example of one night, and I've done this about 10 times in my life. But I swear, it was a young man. He had been in my program. He was in his 4th year, and he was about to go off to college to get him a scholarship. They had already offered him a full scholarship, and he called me one night. He said, Coach, it was about 9 o'clock at night, and he said, Coach, I need you to come get me. And I said, man, what's going on? He said, look, man, he said, it's about to be a shootout in my neighborhood. It's about to be a serious shootout, and Coach, I don't want to get shot. He said, man, I know I'm going to get shot. He said, I know I am. And he said, Coach, could you please come get me? I said, brother, I'll be over there in 10 minutes. And I got in my car. And I went in as fast as I could. It was this big dude. This dude was about 6'8". He was about 6'8", and he stood there. And he said, what business you think you got going in here? I was prepared to fight my way in there. I really was. And, he pulled his shirt up, and he had a pistol in his pants. And I said, brother, I came to get so-and-so. He said he don't want to get shot. And he said, well, so-and-so ain't coming out of there. I don't care what you say. And then the guy, I said, well, I'm not leaving, man. I said, I'm not leaving until he comes out of there. He said, "Oh, you see what I got right here?" I said, "Man, I see full well what you got right here." But I said, "I'm not leaving until he come out." And he said, "Wait a minute, man, I know you." And I said, "You do?" He said, "Yeah, man." He said, "You the one that put my little sister in college, man." He said, "I always thought my little sister would get pregnant." He said, "I always thought my little sister would get pregnant, man." And he said, "Man, but you the one that got it. She in school now because of you." He said, "Coach, man, I know you, man." He said, "You don't remember me, man, when my sister, I was a little dude then, man, 3 years ago. I mean, the dude he grew up, man. He sprouted up." He said, "Man, I was a little dude then." He said, "Man, but you don't remember, man, you used to come over there and you bring us something to eat, man, and we used to be in there laughing and playing." He kind of had a memory lane, and I had totally forgotten who this guy was. He said, "All right, coach." He said, "Look, man, I need you to go in there." He said, "Go get him. Come back out." He said, "Man, it's finna get hot, man." He said, "It's finna get hot." And I'm talking about real hot on this block. And I said, "Man, you can come with me." He said, "Coach, man, I can't do it." He said, "Man, I'm down for my hood." He said, "I can't do it." He said, "Get him, man. Hurry up and get on up out of here, man." He said, "Seriously, man, you got about 4 minutes." So, I went in, got him, put him in the car. And he said, "Man," he said, "Coach, could you come by, man, next week because I want to holler at you?" And I said, "No problem, man." I said, "No problem." And, got him out of there. So that kid stayed with me for about 5 months until he graduated from school. Okay? He is in his last year of college. He's in his last year of college. But I want you to tell me, give me a protester that's going to do that. Give me a protester that will outright go into these neighborhoods and actually do that. Because at the point, what I believed in was much more important than my life itself. I didn't care about my life. I cared about his life. I literally cared. I was not moving. That guy was going to have to blow me away to get me to just leave. And I'd have been leaving, getting out of here. I'd have been out of there. I'd have been dead. But I wasn't leaving. But, the guy, it did go down. The gun, it was a war in that neighborhood. It went down. And the kid that I was talking to at the front porch, he got shot fatally. But he survived. And in the next video, guys, I'm going to break it up into 4 parts probably. In the next video, I'm going to tell you what our conversation was, me and him, when he got in the hospital. And I'm going to tell you what happened to him in the future. I'm going to explain to y'all. But as far as you fight the Power Brothers go, you guys, there's something wrong with y'all, man. If you think that I'm going to agree with you just because I'm black and you black, that's not how it works on this video. On this channel, it don't work like this. If I see BS, I call it out. If you disagree with me, go ahead and disagree with me. That's cool. Okay? But I had to address the statement that Coach Shelton Harrison is an Uncle Tom. Because Uncle Tom's ain't going into no black neighborhood. Uncle Tom's ain't going into no rough neighborhood. In fact, I done been into all bad neighborhoods. I done been into a Mexican hood where I done had to drop off Mexican kids, where I done had to pull out one of my teenage throwers, man, a shot put thrower. A Mexican kid, man, she had all the skill in the world. And I went to her house and I said, listen, she need to be coming to practice. And Dad was a game banger, man. He was a straight up game banger. And I'm not going to even tell you the gang that he was affiliated with. It's a popular gang. And he looked at me and he said, "What make you think you coming in here, man, and she going to practice with you?" I said, "Cuz, man," I showed him all these little scholarship letters. Man, I had 12 scholarship letters, man. Well, not letters, but 12 schools interested in having her come to school there for free. And, man, he looked at me and he said, "Yo, man," he said, "Okay." He said, "You come by, you pick her up every day." And he said, "I got no beef with you." That's what he told me. That's what this guy told me. He said, "I got no beef with you." He said, "Man," he said, "but, you do wrong by my kids." And he told me point blank, he said, "I'll murder you." And I looked at him. I said, "Well, you won't be murdering me because I'm going to do right by the kid." And he looked, man, he said, "Okay." And, but she went on to a 4-year university. She's graduated now. She moved to Seattle. And, she's actually a consultant. Believe it, man, this kid that was in a gang banging neighborhood. Crazy. But see, that's what guys like me. There's a Coach Shelton Harrison somewhere in your neighborhood. Maybe there was a Coach Shelton Harrison maybe that probably, took you to school or that encouraged you to do something. But see, don't get on here and start saying that, "Coach, you're Uncle Tom." Because you don't have any idea what it is I do on a daily basis, and that's just the way that is. All right, guys, I'm going to break this up in about maybe another 2 parts, okay? This is the first part. This is your boy, Coach Shelton Harrison. I'm done.